Hello and welcome to this, your Aries September 2025 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel St. James, clairvoyant. Well, this month, to help us with our forecast, we have a deck that you never really see around. It's called the William Blake Tarot deck. And William Blake was a painter and a poet, something read of a mystic. Now, while he was alive, everybody just thought he was crazy, and as often is the case with artists, it was after he was dead that people really appreciated his paintings, of which these are a reproduction, and of course his poetry as well, which is very mystical. So we might get some mystical insights here as well as our predictions. Now, you do know that as a clairvoyant, I can provide you with clairvoyant readings wherever you are in the world. The details are in the description. They are charged for. I also offer to you, wherever you are in the world, the spiritual gift of healing. And it is absolutely free, without any obligation or expectation. Nothing will be sold or recommended to you. You might have some emotional issues or some business issues, some physical issues. Just reach out to me, as so many people have done, and you will not be disappointed. Now, there are no video advertisements in this content, and so we get to enjoy it without interruption. And let's see what there is for you. This deck's got some interesting suit names. There's Whirlwind. Looks like a major arcana there. There is 8 of Science. See, there's an interesting thing. The 9 of Music. What might this be? Eternity. Ah, eternity. And finally, there is here for you, what? The 5 of Music. Well, why don't you come and sit down here next to me? You and I can have a good close look at the images on it. I'll bring the camera around for everybody else, and I'll do the reading for you. What a very interesting month. Great movement forward, good luck. Coming out of confusion, a little bit of melancholy where you understand that you are protected, just bliss and joy. But I want to start with this only because it's so interesting, and I don't think I have ever seen anything like it in a tarot deck before. 00. Well, this is reminiscent of that Jacob's ladder in the book of Genesis in the Christian and Jewish tradition. Now, Blake, of course, was a mystical poet, and this sun here, well, to me, it clearly, I think, stands for the divine imagination, the God in you, which shines within you day and night, the ultimate reality from which all things are created. And I suspect that during this month, you're going to reflect upon things like this, and in particular, understand that you must seize every day, live every day, because eternity demands that you live today. I think that this is really significant for you, and it's a great blessing here, because I think that this is speaking of the spiritual reality and your creative imagination, which you'll be able to bring to bear in any number of areas. Now, I say it's called eternity, but this is a wake-up to you in a spiritual sense. I think it's also saying that a very promising opportunity is coming along here, and for you to try something new and imaginative. You might find out some news about something really good happening. And I also suspect that there's going to be just some good luck or a very fortunate occurrence or meeting. One of those coincidences that are not a coincidence, if you know what I mean. And you might even come to the sudden awareness that life is a spiritual adventure and not just a material process. This is a fantastic energy here for you because eternity is just unmistakably divine blessing coming upon you. And it's also saying for you to understand the nature of yourself. I think this is going to talk about that as well in some way. Do you know that beauty is eternity looking at itself in a mirror? But you are eternity, and you are the mirror. And it is also the case that we should enjoy ourselves here because the present is the point at which time touches eternity. Understand also this, and you will come to this realization during the month, that every time that you do a good deed, you will shine the light a little further out into the dark. And the thing is, when you're gone, that light is going to keep shining on, pushing the shadows back. How can I encapsulate what I'm trying to say here in a story? It sort of looks like what? A foghorn. Now, you know what a foghorn is? It's that thing that blows out from a ship or from a lighthouse warning ships of the danger ahead. Well, the story is this, is that one day, many years ago, a man walked along and stood in the sound of the ocean on a cold, sunless shore and said, "We need a voice to call out across the water to warn ships. I'll make one. I'll make a voice like all of time and all of the fog that ever was. I'll make a voice that is like an empty bed beside you all night long, and like an empty house when you open the door, and like the trees in autumn with no leaves, a sound like the birds flying south crying, and a sound like November wind and the sea on the hard, cold shore. I'll make a sound that's so alone that no one can miss it, that whoever hears it will weep in their souls, and fireplaces and hearths will seem warmer, and being inside will seem better to all who hear it in the distant towns. I'll make a sound and a machine. They'll call it a foghorn, and whoever hears it will know the sadness of eternity and the briefness of life. So, live every day. Don't waste one of your precious moments or give away one of your sacred seconds. Now, life does turn around for you, though, of course. And what do we have here? The whirlwind, indeed. Now, I'm just looking at this painting. Now, almost unmistakably, that's supposed to be a figure of the divine. And what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4 faces. I'm going to assume that this is with a whirlwind, the prophet Ezekiel. Now, there's a book in the Old Testament called the Book of Ezekiel on the prophets, and in chapter 1 of that book, he talked about having a religious experience. And I think it was in verse 4, he said that there was this dust storm, and a creature came from out of the dust and the wind. And he said in verse 4, I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north. And within, he goes on in verse 10, I think, that within the whirlwind were 4 beasts. And they had, now he says that they had these don't, but he said there that there was one body, but each of the beasts had the head of an ox, the head of a lion, the head of a human, and the head of a eagle. And they, of course, represent the 4 fixed signs of the elements of the zodiac. But for you now, this is speaking unmistakably of abundance, prosperity, and good fortune here. And the reason why I say that is because with this around here and this aside it, I see the planet of Jupiter all over this. And Jupiter, of course, relates to growth, expansion, and good luck. Now, there's a change of fortune coming for you, and it's going to be good. It's almost as if it is your destiny here. There's a new beginning, I think. Great degree of expansion, I think. Huge amount of creativity for you. I suspect there'll be something of a rather big breakthrough here. Some self-realization this is speaking of. I think that's to do with this, and probably to do with this. I don't know. We'll see what happens when we get there, shall we? But there's unexpected fortune here, good luck, and a chance, opportunity. Now, in the middle of this whirlwind, the energy is swirling around you, and it's bringing knowledge and daring with you as well. Now, these changes that are coming, they may not necessarily seem to be good at the time that they come, but when you look back in 12 months, you'll say, I remember that. And that was when it happened. Things started to take off here. So be ready to act on any unexpected opportunities. When times seem to be moving around, because there are some ups and downs along the way, stay centered, because this is not a time to be discouraged by any challenges, because you have what it takes to get over them. In many respects, this is a turning point for you, because I suspect that things have not been going all that well in total for you. Well, now things are starting to get better. Now, change is about to happen, and you may need to alter your present course or change things around in your life so that the right outcomes can come about. Really, if no miracles are happening now, something is wrong, because you stand before the possibility of a great breakthrough. Use the moment. Live today. Take action. Make decisions. There's nothing wrong with making decisions. Make them quickly. Because if the decision is not the best decision, you can always take another decision to change it. Now, maybe ask yourself, are you really ready for the great fortune that's coming your way? And what's standing in the way? But say to yourself, I am a prosperous individual. I am flexible in times of change. I enjoy manifesting my internal abundance externally, because I am a child of the beloved. Abundance, which created me, is what I am, and I am now ready for the miracle of my life. Now, it's no mistake and it's no coincidence, I don't think, that this energy is sitting on the top here. And here we have this sense of restriction, it says, this 8. And I'm looking at this old guy, with his eyes closed, as if wondering what on earth is going on. And I think this may be relating to some of these things which may not have been going great, which are now being turned around and going forward. And these chains here, which are about presumably restriction, but which I think is to do with a restriction of things in your mind, or maybe a confusion with something here, because look, this is again Jupiter, you see, so it's got good energy coming with it, but it's Jupiter in the sign of Gemini, and Gemini can be very polarized, and it can deflect and distract the energy of your mind. You may have felt that you've got some doubt or fears of making the wrong choice, and these fears constantly perhaps have been just destroying your inner clarity. You might even have felt worn out. Endurance may have been an issue, but you are now obtaining endurance, because now, where before, no matter where you turned, no satisfactory solution seemed to exist, and the more you tried to unravel the tangled ball of wool, the tighter the knots became. Now things are changing, coming around here. This is saying, in a sense, to let things rest and develop on their own for a while. And as long as doubt concerning decisions or confusion remains, just don't go for anything new. Jupiter, as I say, is the bringer of unforeseen and unexpected change for the better. And problems that you've had, which did seem to be perhaps just unable to be solved before now, are going to find their solution in their own way. It's almost as if there has been with you a sort of I can't believe it, but what this is coming up is talking about you perhaps having had a fear of failure or of quitting before you start, because your mind is confused about things. Well, look, the most confused you will ever get is when you try to convince your heart and spirit of something that your mind knows is a lie. I'm also getting this situation around here, may relate to you or someone that you know, and this relates to a personal type of a relationship where you go through the process of saying, I love you, I hate you, I like you, I hate you, I love you, I think you're stupid, I think you're a loser, I think you're wonderful, I want to be with you, I don't want to be with you, I would never date you, I hate you, I love you. And I think that this madness could have started at the moment that you've met someone, almost as if they had transmitted a virus to you. But never beat yourself up, which I think this is saying here is, don't beat yourself up don't live in confusion, because that's a luxury that only the very young can deal with, and you are not the very young. But understand, having changes of mind is not a bad thing, because the beloved turns you from one feeling to another and teaches by means of opposites, so that you will have two wings to fly with and not just one. Now, sitting underneath that was something which I think has got something to say. Let's have a look. Here, 5 of music. Well, you can probably read the text that's there. I don't need to do that. Mars, I see here, ruling the first decan of Scorpio. Well, look, ordinarily you would expect a Look, for you, this is a good thing for two reasons. One, Mars is the ruler of Scorpio, and Mars is also your ruler as well. And I think what there might be going on here is a little bit of weeding of your mental garden. And this weeding is due to, I think, things that have occurred, or ways that you've been looking at yourself by things that you have done and which have affected your conscience, perhaps, in relation to the things in the past. Well, look, this is now saying to me that the time has come for you to lay down that baggage and leave behind all the struggling and the striving. You can be set free as you journey forward now into a balanced, healthy, and rewarding future, which this is promising. Now, I know it is the case that, with you anyway, that at times it may seem as though you and your past are one. Sometimes you can fail to work out the difference between what has happened to you in the past and who you are today. If you have had a hard time getting past a damaging mindset, well, this is giving you encouragement right now. You are not your past. Although you are changed and shaped by past experiences, who you were yesterday does not control the person that you are today or have the potential to become tomorrow. Now, I think this is also saying, and this is in relation to this divine, mystical energy that's flooding all over you today, and it's saying to you that one of the great things about life here is that you can start over. Do you know, with the beloved, there are always new beginnings. The beloved specializes in second chances and wipes the slate clean. It specializes in fresh starts. Now, while you might feel overwhelmed at times and held back by painful recollections or haunting fears or remorse or shame or guilt, I can assure you that the beloved's power in your present life is not limited by what took place in your past. Now, when you are governed and manipulated by your painful memories, well, you know, you just allow your past to control your future. But when you give the controls to the beloved, amazing things start to happen with the rest of your life. This is saying now that you can start now and have a brand new life and a brand new ending. And this is also coming through, and again, it's in connection with concepts of this restriction and these chains that are here, that letting go is one of the major cornerstones of being set free. So make a decision to release whatever is holding you back. Don't hang on to anything that is not empowering you to move forward. In reality, you know, you always have the option of choosing whether you'll focus on a hurtful past, and everybody has got one of those. You are not alone in that. Or you can choose to fill your mind with uplifting thoughts of the present and all its blessings. When those hurtful thoughts come back, turn them away and say, "You're not bringing any value to my life. I don't accept you into me. There's a prison inside myself and I'm locking you away in there because that's not me anymore. I am good enough. I am lovable. I'm important. I matter. I'm beautiful. I'm handsome. I have things to give." and forgive yourself. The reason to forgive yourself is not because you feel like it or because you want to see yourself as blameless, but because you limit what you can receive from the beloved when you hold on to your past. There's a power here that can do so much more than you can ever imagine. Forgiving yourself starts with believing that you are loved just for being you. And when you are loved and good enough for being you, remember, you are not only forgiven, but all the past and things, they're forgotten. Now, we're going to deal with this central energy rather quickly. I don't need to say a lot about it. It's so good for you, and this is overriding everything here. It's Jupiter again, of course, in Pisces, and the expansive philosophical life of Jupiter is beautifully expressed through sensitive Pisces here. And what you have now is, in this month, overflowing love, deep joy, blessings, and I think you have the fulfillment of the goal of love. This is an energy that is speaking of bliss, and it is obtaining that bliss from the deepest reaches of a soul at peace. This moment for you is filled with harmony and inner joy, so open yourself to it totally and don't miss out. There are, I think, wishes being granted. There's a sense of abundance. There's a reward for your hard work. And just as this was saying here, this is talking about an extremely bright future for you. So, as this eternity card was saying, live now and breathe and feel. If you are alone, enjoy being alone. And if you are together with other people, enjoy their company. And if you have a job to do, do it with enthusiasm. Whatever you do, do it with enthusiasm, because happiness is the inevitable byproduct of doing something with enthusiasm. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. This is a time really when, for you this month, things can't really get any better than they are. So say to yourself, happiness is my natural condition. Fantastic spread of cards, made so much better for you being here.
Well, I really enjoyed your company during that, and I'm sure that you will have enjoyed the reading as much as I did providing it to you. Now, unless I see you in the meantime, either for a clairvoyant reading or for a healing, then I'll see you here again next month. And until then, though, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.